My DM has been a mess. Everyone has been requesting for the tutorial of this video, and finally this video is here. I don't even know why it took this long for me to drop this video, but this video is here. Hello and welcome back once again. Without wasting much of your time, let's glam this beautiful model and we're going to just dive right in. To begin, as usual, cleanse the face. We're cleaning the face with the micellar water. This is from Missmetic, also using the Missmetic cotton pad. The Missmetic cotton pad is my fave because it doesn't leave like patches on the skin. Let the skin dry properly, and I went into it with my hydrating serum. This is the green tea hydrating spray. This is a setting spray, but I like what it does to the skin, so I use it for hydration. The next I went into the lip with the lip balm. This is the Nia lip balm and it's my best lip balm. I've been using this lip balm since I discovered it, and it's been over 3 years or 2 years. Yeah, over 3 years since I discovered this lip balm. Then I went ahead with my serum. This is the Zaron Hydrating Serum into her skin. And before I go into any other product on her skin, I let the one I applied already absorb properly into her skin, and I use my hand to blend it. Sometimes I use my brush, but on this day I decided to use my hand because you guys, hand just does it perfectly well. And I went ahead to moisturize as well with the Omari Code moisturizing serum. Next I went into with the Power Seal. This is the oil control and sweat control tonic. This I use it for all skin type, whether you have a combination skin, dry skin, oil skin. I just make sure I secure the T-zone. The T-zone is really important, and make sure you always secure the T-zone. And before you move further, make sure this is completely dry. Then I'm using this hydrating serum, hydrating primer. She has a combination skin, so I'm using the hydrating primer on her other part of her face, avoiding the T-zone. I like to use a hydrating primer when I'm working on a combination skin because it just gives the foundation like a base to stay on. Then on her T-zone, I went into the Omari Code matte primer, the matte o'clock primer, and I'm applying this with my hand. You guys, when I'm working with a matte primer, especially primer this matte, make sure you just apply in very little quantity to avoid patches when you apply foundation. So I do this on the T-zone, also on the brows, because I want the brows to be matte. Now it's time to get into foundation. I'm using these two foundation, the Nuban Beauty in My Skin foundation L1 and this NYS Can't Stop Won't Stop. I can't remember the shade, but if I remember when I'm posting, I'm going to leave it in the comments, sorry, in the description. So I applied this with a brush, went into her skin with my beauty sponge. The beauty sponge I use is from the Girls Corner. Yeah, I think it's LV, so I can't remember, you guys, but that's the beauty sponge. This beauty sponge I use, very soft. If I still remember the brand, I will leave it in the comment, in the description, sorry. So when I'm done with her foundation, I removed the band from her head, and I didn't take foundation to her forehead area because I don't want it to mess the frontal up. So next I went into it with the blush. I mixed the orange from this palette and the orange from the Nuban Beauty and the pink from this palette, and it gave me this shade. It still looks like the pink, but it kind of toned down the pink a little bit and just give me this shade of pink that I wanted, because I didn't want that very pinky shade. It just looks too much. So I apply that, take the essence to her nose and also her forehead area. Now it's time to bronze her face. I like to bronze instead of contouring, so I like to use like a warm shade to warm up her face a little bit. So doing that, I'm using my Inglot foundation in 113 to do that. So for her forehead area, this is the reason I didn't put foundation there. I just used a little brush to apply the contour or the bronzing shade on the forehead area, because when you do this, it kind of make the frontal look even. But when you apply foundation, especially when foundation is too light, you guys, it's just make the frontal look really funny, and it will separate it. It will not melt into her skin. It will not be looking melted into her skin. So just make sure you pay attention to this little details. They are little, but it just these whole details just bring out your work. It contributes to how your work, like your finished look, is going to turn out. So I use my found my blender to beauty sponge to just blend the contour, or the bronzer rather. I went ahead to contour her nose with the same shade, just very little quantity. I was going very little on her face. On this makeup generally, I did like a very soft glam, even though it was glam, but it was still soft on the skin. So for highlighting, I used, this is the um Kevin Coin concealer in number 11. So I just use it to conceal her skin, just conceal her under eyes first, because I wanted to, what I did was I concealed and I highlighted. So I went into her skin with this very little quantity, so I just kept blending and blending. I did the same thing on the other part of her under eyes, if that even makes sense. And I went ahead on her chin. I took the excesses on her under her nose as well. So now I'm using this Nuban Beauty in 041 under her eyes. This is to highlight. I kept going with little quantity, like very, very little quantity, because since I'm doing two layer, I don't want under her eyes to look very cakey, but I still want it to look concealed and highlighted and, smooth, just look like butter. That's just basically it. So just keep blending like your life depends on it, you guys. I took the excesses from the brush under her nose and I went ahead, add very little on her forehead area, because I don't want so much on that part. Because if you highlight so much on the forehead area, by the time you turn on your light to take pictures, it just attract the light and the forehead will be shining. So just do very, very little. And on the bridge of her nose, I apply very little on the bridge of her nose. And when I had to blend with my beauty sponge, I don't like the bridge of the nose looking very overly highlighted. So that's just what I did basically. So because the concealer, the contour kind of reduced the intensity of the blush, I went ahead with the blush again to just, increase the intensity. So this is the advantage of working, one of the advantages of working with a cream blush. So to set under her eyes, I'm using the Mirac setting powder in the shade Ginger. So the first thing I do is tell her to look up and I blend under her eyes and make sure there is no creasing under her eyes, because once you set under the eyes, that is what it looks like. Anything you set, that is what you are gonna get, trust me. So just make sure before you set, everything is in place. So I just kept taking little quantity, I just kept building up, that's just the word. I build up, because if it's not enough I can add, but if it's too much I cannot reduce. So I did that on the other part of the under eyes, set under her nose, around her nose area, on her chin, her forehead, the bridge of her nose, and I kind of like intensified the contour, or highlighted the contour by highlighting above her jawline. So now I'm going to just intensify my bronzer with this shade from Milani. This is a deep melanin in the shade deep, just to intensify the bronzer. And when you're doing this on the forehead area, please avoid the frontal, because you don't want it to stain the frontal and making it look very funny, because the makeup complements the hair and the hair complements the makeup. So if one thing is looking funny, trust me, your work is going to be looking very tacky. So to set all over her face with powder, I mix these two shades. This is Fenty Beauty powder in 320 and melanin powder in the shade medium. So I just mix the two shade and, just kept building up, building up, building up, because there is no point actually packing so much product and putting in her face and say, oh, this is too much. So next, after doing that, I went ahead with my blush to intensify the blush using this shade from, I use this pink from the blush. This is the V Beauty blush palette. This blush palette can be very tricky to use, but if you learn how to use it, trust me, you're going to enjoy it. Just make sure you take very little quantity. When you pick up with your brush, it looks like you picked up nothing, but when you apply it on the skin, you see that there's actually something on your skin. So done with the face, the skin work, yeah, the face and the skin work. It's time to move on to the eyes. For her eyes, I used the Benign Clown White eyeshadow base. Then I make sure it's well blended. As you can see from this video, it's very, very well blended. I used an orange from my palette and do the transition. Now I'm applying on the pink. Whatever I do on this eyes, I did on the other eyes. So I just kept blending and blending. With eyeshadow, you guys, eyeshadow is patient. Patience, patience, patience for you to get like the perfect eyeshadow you're going for. So when I was done, the first thing I did was orange for transition, then intensified transition with the pink from my eyeshadow palette. And now I'm using this brown from my coffee shop palette, the Nubia, Nubia Berjuvia's coffee shop palette. That's the name, yeah? You guys know what I'm talking about. I just kept, blending. I had like 4 or 5 different eyeshadow brushes on my hand. Each of the brushes were serving different purposes. So I kept switching brushes. So don't use the same brush you used to apply the brown to blend it into the crease. It's going to look really, really dark. So done with that, I went into it with the orange again, just to make sure I blend everything out and make sure there is no demarcation. So on the eyelid, I'm using this silver. It looks like gold from my eyeshadow palette. When you apply it, it comes out as silver. So I just applied this silver on the eyes, went on top of it with a green because that was the look I was going for. So the reason I went in with the silver first for the green is to reduce the intensity of the green, because if I had gone with the green directly, it would have been too intense. Went into it with this small blending brush just to make sure there is no demarcation between each of the colors I applied on the eye. So now it's time to smudge under the eyes. You guys, I always smudge under the eyes. I don't know how people do it, but sometimes I see some very beautiful makeup and they don't smudge under the eyes. My hand will just be pinching me, go and smudge it, smudge it, smudge it. So I did that with the brown from my coffee shop palette, and now I'm lining the eyes with this my it's Merak Black Charcoal Pencil. This is actually the last one I have. But when it finishes, I'll try the Paula. Someone on this channel recommended I try the Paula Black Pencil. So time to line the eyes. I did a a wing liner today, and this is the wing, you guys. I used my Tehila Cosmetics gel liner to do this, and a very flat brush, and I was very patient. And you see, I was not chewing, my model was not chewing, I was not saying anything, nobody was talking, because when you're doing this, you need maximum concentration for you to be able to get what you want. So I just kept doing this until I get it right. So that's just it. This is what it looks like. The wing is winging. So I went ahead with my Nuban Beauty mascara to, apply on her natural lashes before I put the false lashes. Just take out any eyeshadow excess fallout, or just, put everything in place. So done with, I did the brows off camera, so I'm just setting the brows. Sometimes doing the brows takes time. Sometimes doing the brows is just does not take time. I just feel like, oh, let me just, since I have like a detailed brow tutorial on this channel, let me just, leave it and just move on, so we don't take time here. So after setting the brows using this Nuban Beauty powder in number one, I just use it to dust out excess powder under her eyes and blend. This is like a mineralized powder, so it just, kind of highlights for you. So when you are doing this, just know what the powder works for. So this was for under her eyes, her under her nose, her chin, her forehead, the bridge of her nose, just taking out excesses from the powder, the setting powder I use. That's the ginger from Merak. So now I'm setting her skin with the Kiss Beauty finishing spray, just setting everything together. I close the hairline because I don't want the spray to lift the frontal. So doing that, I use like a fan to make sure it's dry, like, almost dry, like 98% or 95% or even 99%. I think 98% is fair. Let it dry almost completely. Then use your beauty sponge to just blend and seal everything into the skin. So next we're going for the lip. For the lip, I did like I always do like a nude lip, but this was not nude. It was not nude. This was like a pink lip, but it's not red. Yeah, so I started with a brown to line. What I wanted to have is this, this baby pink girly kind of lip. That was the inspiration. So I'm using my lip liner from, no, this is not a lip liner, this is a cream lipstick from my lip palette to line her lip. And when doing this, I just make sure everything is well blended. So I asked her to smile. I went into it with this baby pink from my lip palette. This is the Cities Beauty lip palette. So when she smiles, it makes the application easier. And when she stops smiling, her lips turns out very nice, because as she smiles, she spread her lips, and everything entered. So this is I applied the lipstick, the Supro lipstick in the shade Ella on top of it, and now I'm blending it. The Supro lipstick is a matte lipstick, so I'm just blending. You guys, be patient. Yeah, it's lip. Some people say it's just lip. Let me just do it anyhow and go, but every single thing complements your makeup and how your makeup turned out. So using my lip gloss from the Girls Corner, I don't even know why these people don't want to restock this lip gloss, you guys. So using this lip gloss from the Girls Corner, I just apply it on her lip and, blend, 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 blend. So just know your products, know what you're trying to achieve, and know what you're going to get. I'm always a gloss girl, so no matter what I do, I always gloss. Yeah, I had a client yesterday that insisted I do a matte lipstick. That's the first time I'm doing like a matte lipstick in years, apart from doing like a matte red, a matte nude. I always gloss. I always find a way to convince my clients to gloss, because gloss is beautiful, you guys. But she insisted that she wanted matte, but she's a client, so I have to give her whatever she wants. So this is the lipstick I was going for. This is what I have. So this is not nude and this is not red either. It's just like baby pink, and it just gives me that. So just to glue her cheekbone, I'm using the Makeup Revolution highlighter palette. I'm not big on highlighters, so I don't really own fancy highlighters or highlighters individually. My Makeup Revolution palette has been doing it for me for the longest time because I'm not big on highlighters, so I don't, invest in it. So just to intensify the blush, I'm using this orange just to flush like a little color on her skin. If you look at my brush, you feel like, oh, this brush is not picking product. But when you're working with the V Beauty, you guys just know your products. That's the word. So I went ahead with this super pink, shiny, like a pink shimmer, a body sparkle from Supro. So I just tap, tap on the skin because you don't want to apply so much. If you apply so much of that product, the cheek will just be looking pink. But what you want is just to have like a sparkle of pink on the cheek, not like to have a highlighter looking pink. So done with the makeup, it's time to do our finishing touches. So using my Nuban Beauty mascara to just intensify the volume of her lower lashes. Because trust me, like I kept saying in this video, everything complements everything. So imagine having these full lashes on her eyes and her lower lashes is looking empty. So this is what we have, you guys. And we're done with this glam. This is the finished look of this makeup, you guys. This glam is giving everything it needs to give. You guys, check out my other videos. If you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Like my video as well. Bye.